Wagwan beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be showing you guys how to make this cottage pie slash shepherd's pie. Essentially it's a shepherd's pie but with beef. So I'll be showing you guys how to make this nice meaty pie filled with some beautiful mashed potato. So stick around. Okay, so I've got about 1.5 pounds of ground beef. Okay, so let's season up our beef. Okay, so we're going to start off with about a teaspoon of all-purpose seasoning, a teaspoon of my green seasoning, some black pepper to your taste, coarse sea salt also to your taste, some garlic powder, and some hot paprika, also seasoned to your taste. Okay, I'm going to go in with my hands. I'm going to mix all that seasoning into the beef. I'm going to let that sit for about 45 minutes to allow the beef to absorb all that seasoning. While our beef is marinating, let's start on some potatoes. We're going to peel some potato. You can peel as much or little potato as you like. I'm going to peel about 700 grams of potato, and then we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, so once you've peeled your potatoes, you want to cut them into quarters or medium size. Okay, so once you finish peeling and cutting your potatoes, you want to rinse your potato in some cold water just to rinse off those extra starch on there. So you rinse it off in some cold water, and then you're going to place it into a medium pot with cold water to cook for about 20 minutes until it's nice and tender. Okay, so these are the vegetables we need to chop up to put into our beef. Got some onions, some yellow bell peppers, some carrots, some white onion or scallion, and some rosemary, as well as some garlic. Okay, so I'm going to finely chop some rosemary. Okay, so I'm going to chop up some carrots. I'm going to use 1 or 1.5 carrot and in some small cubes. You can use 1 or 2, depends on the size of your carrots that you're using. So the next vegetable I'll be cutting up is my onions. I'm going to finely chop these as well. Okay, so now it's time to finely chop some garlic. Okay, now, so bell peppers are totally optional. So I like having bell peppers in my meats or my stews that I'm doing. So I'm gonna add some bell peppers, finely chop these. It's totally optional if you want to add bell peppers in your mince. But I like bell peppers, so I'll be putting them in my mince. Okay, so now it's time to chop up our green onions, or scallions as I call it. So you can start chopping these up as well. Okay, now it's time to saute down our vegetables. So I'm gonna add some oil. So I'm adding some olive oil. You can use vegetable oil or whatever oil that you've got. And we're gonna let that heat up to add our vegetables. Okay, so now our oil is now hot. It's time to add our chopped onions, our garlic, and our bell peppers. We're gonna let that saute down on a medium heat until it's tender for about 6 to 10 minutes. So now it's time to add our green onion and our rosemary. Okay, allow this to saute down for about an extra 1 minute or 1.5 minutes before you add your beef. Okay, now it's time to add our beef. So I'm going to add our beef that's been marinating for about 45 minutes. I'm going to let that brown in the pan before I add my rest of ingredients. All list of ingredients using the shepherd's spire will be in the description box below, so please check that out. So majority of the beef is now brown, so it's now time to add the remaining of ingredients. To the beef, I'm going to add some Worcestershire sauce. Okay, I'm also adding some dark soy sauce. This is totally optional. This is what I like putting into my mince. We'll be adding some Maggi liquid seasoning there as well. This is all optional. This is how I season up my mince, so I'm adding some of that in there. Then I will add in some tomato puree. Put that in there as well. Mix all of that in. So now it's time to add all that chopped carrots. Okay, so now it's time to add some frozen peas. Okay, so for a little twist, I had hot and sweet sauce. This is Maggi ketchup into my mince. It gives it an extra flavor. So you're welcome to try this, but this is how I season up my mince. Okay, so now it's time to sprinkle some flour over our meat and stir that in evenly. Okay, so it's now time to add our chicken stock. We're going to add that. We're going to bring it to a simmer. Let the mixture thicken for about 5 to 8 minutes before we move on to the next step. Okay, let's go back to our potato. So now our potato is now finished cooking. So I'm going to add about 50 grams of unsalted butter. Then I'm going to season up my potato. I'm going to add some salt and some black pepper to it. Okay, so usually people add milk to their mashed potato, but I'm going to add some double cream to mine. I think it gives it a bit more flavor, so I'm adding some double cream. Then I'm going to continue mashing the potato. Now the potato is quite mashed, but now it's time to add some cheese. So now I'm adding some cheddar cheese. So I'm going to add some cheddar cheese. Then I'm going to add some Parmesan cheese to my mashed potato. Then I'm going to continue mashing that a bit more. So I'm trying to get a perfect mashed potato. Look how creamy and fluffy that mashed potato looks. Lovely, looks so lovely. Can't wait to try it. Okay, so now it's time to layer the meat mixture and the mashed potato in a casserole dish. So I'm going to put the beef down, the beef mixture, the meat mixture down first, and I'm going to layer that with some mashed potato. Okay, so spread the mashed potato over the top of the ground beef, rough up the surface of the mashed potato, give it a bit of rustic look, and then you can use a fork to create some nice peaks and some nice design in the mashed potato as well. Okay, so but before I place my shepherd's pie in the oven, I'm going to grate some Parmesan cheese on the top. Then I'm going to rough up my potato top. So I'm going to use the fork and create some little design on the top of it. Okay, place in a 400 Fahrenheit oven and cook until brown and bubbling, about 30 minutes if necessary, or less, depends on how your surface look. And then that is how you make a perfect shepherd's pie. Okay, let's slice in this bad boy. Look at this beautiful shepherd's pie.